Hello and welcome. I'm Scott and this is the BikeRide.com Electric Bike Guide, where we're going to show you how to find your perfect bike. Now, I don't know about you, but personally, when I'm biking, I like going downhill a little bit better than going up. Now, e-bikes might just change that perspective, giving you a little bit of boost or a lot, depending on what you're riding. But if you're new to the e-bike game, or let's be honest, even if you're keeping up with the times, the amount of new technology, terminology, and genre-busting builds that are out on the market currently can make it borderline overwhelming. Just look behind me at a few of the models that are available, and you can see that the market is literally endless right now. There's a lot of options for consumers when they're out there searching for their next e-bike. Well, today, the team at BikeRide.com has got your back. It's the next best thing to stopping by the studio and riding them yourself. So you don't want to miss this. Before we dive in, if you want to fast track your search for the perfect e-bike, the team at BikeRide.com has designed our best electric bike list based on thousands of expert and user reviews. BikeRide also offers featured biking events in your area, repair guides, and reviews on all the newest bikes, e-bikes, and gear. Let me show you how to use it to find your perfect bike. You'll probably notice that we use a special number, the BikeRide score, to rank bikes and accelerate your search, saving you time and money so you can get out and enjoy the ride. The BikeRide score ranks bikes, parts, and accessories from 0 to 100 to indicate how much they are liked by users and experts. To calculate the BikeRide score, we gather all expert reviews and user ratings that can be found online. We calculate the average of all reviews and ratings from 0 to 100. We then adjust the score based on the credibility and experience of each expert and the number of user and expert ratings. Low quality or biased reviews and spam ratings are filtered out. If you want to read more about how we calculate and score bikes, check out the full article online. This score is shown on our site and used to organize and form the best e-bike lists, making it easy for you to search and find your perfect bike. Follow me to the BikeRide.com website's best e-bike list. From here, let's refine the search. From the sidebar, you can find and refine almost any attribute to help you in your search for the perfect bike. Simply check or uncheck boxes to select options. You can choose from items like the bike type, electric or non-electric, price range, and so much more. Want to know the bikes with a top speed of over 28 miles per hour? Or how about which bike has the largest battery capacity? The BikeRide.com score is a powerful tool for finding your favorite bike and seeing what's available today. It's essential that you can easily find the information you need. So be sure to check out BikeRide.com as we work hard to keep you up to date and out riding. Now let's get started by talking about what an e-bike is. Electric bikes use an electric motor, along with pedals and some of the gearing of a traditional bicycle. This helps riders to travel longer distances and up more hills than would otherwise be possible with their own energy. Most bikes use a system known as pedal assist. This means that rider input is helped along by the motor. Electric bikes are great for anyone looking to travel further than they could on an unpowered bike. This makes e-bikes suitable for senior cyclists and riders with compromised ability. Some e-bikes offer throttle-only power, which means that riders can accelerate without pedaling at all. The uses for an e-bike are as varied as the uses for regular bicycles. So what can I use an e-bike for? Commuting. There are probably more electric bikes designed for commuting than any other purpose. The benefits are multiple. You can use an e-bike to replace a vehicle commute. By doing so, you can avoid the costs of fuel, car maintenance, registration, tolls, and parking. You'll also reduce your carbon footprint and any emissions you would otherwise contribute by driving. It can replace your public transit commute so you won't have to pay for bus or train tickets, and you can avoid standing in crowds and queues. By switching to e-biking, you'll never have to waste time around at a bus station, stop, or a train station. Your electric bike lets you commute much longer distances than you could by pedal power alone. Not only this, but you can arrive at your destination without being exhausted or drenched in sweat. For some riders, it's all about ripping it up off-road. There are dedicated, high-powered e-mountain bikes that are made just for this purpose. They'll help you make those exhausting climbs that precede an awesome descent. E-gravel is the most recent off-road e-biking genre. E-gravel bikes give riders the option to hit higher speeds and longer distances on flatter dirt and gravel roads. Many casual cyclists are seeking an extra boost on a weekend ride or a family outing. E-bikes have the potential to even out the fitness level between energetic youngsters and easygoing grandparents. They also offer a less exhausting way to run errands or make short shop runs. Professionally, an e-bike can be an important part of a job or a small business. If this is you, you'll be looking for a bike that's powerful, durable, and sturdy enough to haul your required cargo. Large battery capacities feature on delivery and cargo bikes in order to handle big loads and long days. For whatever reason, you may have limited ability to cycle. This could be due to age, injury, or a physical disability. E-bikes can be a great way to supplement or rebuild strength, depending on your intended use. You'll have different requirements concerning motor wattage, battery capacity, torque, build, and configuration. Electric bikes are available in almost every style that regular bikes are available in. Whether you're looking for something to get you to work or you want a hardcore, full suspension rig to help you get to the top of that gnarly mountain trail, there's an e-bike available to meet your needs. At this time, the most popular types of e-bikes are commuters and urban bikes. And many riders are looking for an e-bike that can get them to work over long distances or without working up a sweat. So for an electric commuting bike, you'll want all the features that you would seek in a pedal-powered commuter, plus a moderately powered motor and battery capacity, unless you're commuting exceptionally long distances. Tough U-locks and a removable battery are essential if you're going to be locking your e-bike up in a public area. Folding e-bikes are also popular as commuters. They suit a multi-modal work commute that also involves using a train, bus, car, or ferry. For some riders, they can be used in conjunction with travel to suit being transported by car or stowed in a mobile home or a boat. A folder may suit you if you live in an apartment, because a good folding bike is small, light, and often used for shorter distances. This means that you can get away with a less powerful motor and a battery of moderate capacity. These factors help to lower the overall weight of an electric folding bike. Electric mountain bikes are available in both hardtail and full suspension varieties. These are ideal for avoiding exhaustion on all-day rides by hauling riders to the top of downhill runs. Some mountain bikers just like to ride for longer distances without exhaustion. If you're a senior rider, less able, or recovering from an injury, these bikes can be ideal for keeping up with friends or family members. You'll be looking for a high torque motor to get you out of difficult situations on less stable surfaces. Electric mountain bikes can be thirsty for power, so you may want to have a higher capacity battery. Alternatively, you can keep a second, fully charged battery on hand. E-mountain bikes are now permitted in most national parks, but in certain areas they are still restricted, so make sure you check out relevant laws in your local area. Hauling heavy tires through snow, mud, or sand can get tiring and limit rides to shorter distances. The extra boost from a pedal assist system can allow riders to carry more and ride further. A powerful motor and high capacity battery are really important here. But electric fat bikes are not just a niche choice. Many first-time e-bike riders head straight for a badass, do-anything, monster truck look and floaty ride style these offer. They can be provided by these big balloon-style tires, and there's many models to choose from in all price ranges, but they do have some drawbacks. Electric road bikes. Electric road bikes allow riders to ride for longer at faster speeds. They assist less able or older riders to maintain pace with their riding group. Most electric road cyclists prefer to pedal actively throughout a ride, and accordingly, electric road bikes are configured to rely on active pedal assist. Throttles are less common, and most of these bikes are lightweight and are equipped with streamlined motors and batteries that are smaller than those found on other electric bikes. Because e-road bikes are so lightweight, the decrease in motor size and the battery capacity does not necessarily translate to less power or battery range. Gravel. A recent sector of e-biking has appeared with the emergence of e-gravel bikes. You'll be looking for all the usual gravel bike features available in your price range, plus a few specific to the electric bike world. Gravel is more of a performance sector. High speeds, long distances, and efficiency are all priorities. As such, you might look for lightweight builds with high capacity batteries. Cargo. For every household, e-cargo bikes offer an exciting alternative to the family car. Some families have even sold their second or only vehicle after purchasing a versatile cargo e-bike. High-quality specimens can be configured to carry 2 children in conjunction with a load of groceries. For anyone employed in the delivery business, electric bikes provide a cheap means of transporting cargo, especially in urban areas. Running costs are low. Also, an electric bike can easily weave its way through heavy traffic and won't need a parking spot when it reaches its destination. Electric cargo bikes are usually quite heavy. In conjunction with the big loads that they're expected to lug, the drain on batteries can be considerable, so look for a high-capacity battery or a dual battery system. You'll also need a reasonably powerful motor and a system that expresses considerable torque. Retro. For some, a retro-styled e-bike is the way to go. If this is the direction you're heading, then performance and speed probably aren't your top priorities. As such, you can get away with less torque and a moderately powered motor. Even so, some of these frames are large and heavy, so you'll need at least enough battery and oomph to reach that optimum cruising speed. In many countries, pedal assist e-bikes are the only e-bikes that can be ridden without a license or registration. In the United States, these are categorized as Class 1 and Class 3 e-bikes. The motor kicks in when you begin pedaling, and on the best electric bikes, this feeling is very intuitive. It should allow you to maintain a desired level of input and fitness according to the level of assistance that you choose. Most e-bikes have 3 to 5 levels of pedal assist available. They'll also give you the option of disabling the motor. With no pedal assist, your e-bike acts like a regular but very heavy push bike. Here's a rundown of an average 3-level pedal assist system. Level 1, or Eco mode. This is the lowest mode and is optimized for maximum range. Some manufacturers will claim up to and in excess of 60 miles. The level of assist offered here is usually 25% to 80% of the maximum available. It suits level terrain and a decent amount of rider input. Level 2, or normal. At this level, you're looking at 100% to 150% assist, in addition to the rider's pedal input. This level provides more torque on takeoff from a standstill. Level 3, or high. At this level, you can expect a maximum of 200% assistance from your motor. It's great for steep climbs and headwinds, but your range is greatly reduced at this level, so it's best reserved for short bursts or when you're in need. Throttle only. This is fairly self-explanatory. Some e-bikes offer a throttle-only option, activated by a grip shift lever or button. Using this method, you can activate a motor without pedaling, and these bikes generally come under the legal category of a Class 2 e-bike in the United States. Many of these also feature multi-level pedal assist options, so keep in mind that working the throttle unassisted will drain the battery fairly quickly. Before you can make sense of the e-bike options available to you, it's helpful to get a basic understanding of e-bike terminology. So let's take a look at some terms. The first one is watt hours. On your e-bike, watt hours is a measure of available energy. This is probably the most important measurement to look at in your e-bike specs. It will be abbreviated as a WH and is the most reliable measurement of your bike's capacity. In gas guzzling terminology, think of it as the size of your fuel tank. In simple terms, the higher the number of watt hours, the more range that is available to you. The amount of energy that your battery has available is known as its capacity. Watt hours can be calculated if you have access to the voltage and amp hour figures for your bike's battery capacity. It's a simple calculation. 24 volts at 20 amp hours would equal 480 watts. 36 volts at 10 amp hours would equal 360 watt hours. So what does it mean, the term watt hours? A watt is a unit of power. Watt hours is a measurement of power used over a period of time and represents a measure of energy. In terms of what you need to know regarding your e-bike purchase, a 250 watt-hour battery can deliver 250 watts for 1 hour, 500 watts for 30 minutes, or 125 watts for 2 hours. So how does that translate to your ride? If you're really working the throttle at its limit, your battery will last half the time that it would be if you were running the battery at half of its capacity. Simply put, lay off the juice and contribute some pedal power and your battery lasts longer. A bigger battery will take you further, but can add considerable weight. But how far, I hear you ask? This varies according to a number of factors, and this can dramatically affect energy consumption. You can expect a burn rate of 17 watt hours per mile on average. It can be much more or much less depending on countless factors, but this is a realistic number to start with. A 36 volt 10 amp hour battery pack with 360 watt hours of capacity would in theory provide approximately 22 miles of range from 100% full charge. From this info, you can easily work out that a battery would be suitable for you if your commute is shorter than 22 miles return. In reference to an e-bike's battery, amp hours should always be listed. For the buyer of a new bike, amp hours is useful in calculating watt hours. Amp hours will almost always be within the range of 8 amp hours to 28 amp hours. Voltage. Voltage relates to the entire system on an e-bike. Voltage pushes the flow of energy and generally relates to the speed. The higher the voltage, the faster your e-bike can go. Usually, new e-bike systems sit between 24 volts and 48 volts, but there are also 52 volt options. Now that you get the basics, let's take a look at some of the important components that make up an e-bike. Starting with the batteries. The battery pack you see on e-bikes looks like a singular unit. It usually takes the appearance of a long black box. Within this battery pack, a number of smaller battery units are connected together in succession to form a pack. Once you've got the basic technical factors sorted, you can understand your battery needs. The experts advise to seek out a battery that offers a slightly longer range than what you'll usually need. Many first-timers aim for a huge battery in an effort to cover the longest possible ride. The problem here is that large batteries add considerable weight. This extra weight slows you down and requires more power to overcome, creating a bit of a catch-22 situation. In any event, a slightly more than what's needed is a good yardstick. Some bikes come pre-configured to accept a dual battery setup. This means that you can keep your weight down and use a single battery on less demanding trips, while having the option to slot in a second battery on epic quests and trips to the lumberyard. Many bikes also come with a lockable battery. You'll be provided with a key that will allow you to lock your battery pack to your bike's frame. Almost all modern battery packs are removable, and this allows you to charge the battery wherever a convenient outlet is located. Just as importantly, it allows you to remove the pack to prevent theft. We've discussed how technical factors relate to range, but what should you expect when you're shopping around? If you're consulting a seller about your needs, they should be able to give you some advice based on a few factors. It's a good idea to either consult an expert who can give you trusted advice, or to use the information available to assess the specifications listed for new e-bikes. The reason for this is that some vendors and manufacturers may overstate range expectations. Using either of these methods, an expert or yourself should assess your needs based on your genre and style of riding and the amount of pedaling that you'll contribute versus the amount of pedal assist that you'll require and your own weight. The average range of an e-bike using moderate levels of assist is around 20 to 35 miles. Do you need more than this in a day? For most riders' commuting needs, this is ample. For bigger cargo needs, you may need more power and a bigger battery. Previously, we mentioned how range is affected by a number of factors, including wind, elevation, pedal effort, and the combined weight of you and your cargo. Your range is also influenced by how you use your motor. A lot of stop starting and throttling will tear through juice in rapid fashion. One of the factors that is mostly outside of the rider's control is outside temperature. Both extremes of weather can lead to deficits in battery capacity, first in the short term, then eventually degrading the capacity on a long-term basis. Most batteries are expected to last for 300 to 1,000 charge cycles, or for around 3 to 5 years. After this period, your battery will not last as long as it did when it was box fresh. It's natural for a battery life to reduce over time, and most major brands give their batteries a 2-year warranty. So experts advise e-bikers to seek a battery that has at least a 2-year warranty at a minimum. A battery should be charged at least every 3 months, and it's a good idea to make every effort to prolong your battery life, as they can cost from a few hundred to as much as $1,500 to replace. Let's take a look at charging. Manufacturers will often state how long it takes to fully charge the battery on an e-bike model, and this information can be invaluable. If you're someone who has a long commute, you might need to charge up for a few hours at your destination, or you might not have this opportunity. Charging times vary according to the capacity of your battery and the amperage of your charger. 2 amp and 3 amp chargers are common stock options that are often sold with new e-bikes. If your e-bike comes with a 4 amp charger, you're in luck. This is considered to be a fast charger. According to recent figures, the average price of electricity in the United States is 13.72 cents per kilowatt hour. There are 1,000 watt hours in 1 kilowatt hour, so a 250 watt hour battery will cost less than 4 cents to fully charge. A fully juiced 500 watt hour battery would cost you less than 7 cents. Next, let's talk about your controller. This device is the brain of your e-bike, and it's connected to your bike's battery, motor, and if present, your throttle. It controls the movement of power from the battery to the motor by pulsing on and off very quickly. This function is known as pulse width modulation, or PWM. It prevents excess stress and overheating of your battery, as well as ensuring that your motor doesn't overheat. What this means is that you can't instantly slam the throttle from a dead stop to full bore. The controller sets a limit for how many amps are allowed to flow to the motor. This is known as the controller's maximum amp rating. As we'll soon see, this radically affects how much power is available to you. Many sellers will advertise their e-bike models according to the motor's wattage. Mostly you'll see 250 watt, 350, 500, and 750 watt e-bikes. At first, this may come across as a straightforward way to determine the power of your desired e-bike. However, wattage means very little on its own. It's important to take into account your battery's voltage and the maximum current in amps that your e-bike's controller can handle. An e-bike with a 36 volt battery and a 15 amp controller is capable of putting out 540 watts at peak power, where 36 times 15 equals 540. This is the case, even if it's advertised as having a 250 watt motor. So you might be getting more power than you originally expected. The intricacies of e-bike power ratings can become very detailed. You can find resources online to satisfying your deepest level of curiosity. But for now, let's go into some of the other characteristics of e-bike motors. There are 2 main types of e-bike motor, each being positioned differently on your new bike, and they both have benefits and drawbacks. Hub motors are situated within the hub of an e-bike's rear or front wheel. On new e-bikes, rear hub-driven motors are most common. They're the most affordable option available. Front-driven hub motors are becoming less popular and are usually found on electric conversions of standard bicycles. Hub motors can be either geared or direct drive. Geared hub motors use internal nylon gears to reduce the motor's output to optimal speed and efficiency. This makes them more complicated but lighter than direct drive systems. They offer more torque and are a bit noisier than direct drive systems. Hub motor benefits. Hub motors are usually the cheaper option. As a reliable, self-contained system, it requires minimal maintenance. If your chain breaks, you can ride home solely on the power of the electric hub. If your hub motor fails, you can pedal home using your bike's drivetrain. The hub motor puts less stress on the bike's other gearing components. Some things to consider about hub systems. Hub-driven systems can overheat on long, steep climbs. They're generally heavier than mid-drive options, and tire changes can be more complicated, involving disconnecting motor wires. Direct drive motors don't have any internal gears, and geared hub motors have a single gear ratio, which can't be changed. Having a heavy hub motor on the rear or front wheel can imbalance an e-bike, and your spokes are more likely to break due to the weight of the hub in the wheel. The width of a hub motor may also limit cassette gears to 7 speeds, and tire widths can be limited by the rim that's attached to the hub motor. Hub motor cadence sensors can also result in jerky and awkward motor timing. Now let's look at mid-drive motors. Mid-drive motors are situated between the cranks on your e-bike, and these motors require a specific kind of frame that accommodates a motor in place of a regular bike's bottom bracket. So what are the benefits of a mid-drive motor? A central location leads to even weight distribution on your bike. They're typically lighter and smaller than a hub motor of comparable power, and direct pedaling input leads to more range, especially across climbs. Tire changes are unaffected by hub-driven motors, and a torque sensor accurately meters out resistance according to your pedal power. Riders generally report a smoother ride quality and the ability to tackle steeper hills for longer than a hub motor of similar power. A few things to consider are that they are the more expensive option, and these motors depend on more rider input through pedal power. Mid-drives generally wear harder on the chain and cassette, and they are more complex and require more maintenance than hub motors. And most brands don't offer repair options outside of warranties. Now that you know more about the motor types, how do you choose a motor? Hub-driven motors offer maximum assistance for less pedal effort. And this generally suits senior riders or those with a disability, as well as anyone seeking physical rehabilitation for an injury. They're also great for anyone who's a less experienced or less frequent cyclist. If you're a new rider or you're returning to cycling, a hub-driven e-bike may be for you. Mid-drive motors suit riders who want a boost, but who still want to stay fit. They're the preferred option for more experienced cyclists, and riders who know how to change gears will be able to attain an efficient ride and extend the life of a mid-drive e-bike. To simplify, torque describes the amount of power available to you at lower revolutions. In straightforward, on-road terms, the benefits are twofold. A motor with higher torque will give you more power from a dead stop. It will also help you climb hills at a faster speed for a longer period of time. Torque is measured in Newton meters, and you'll see it listed in an e-bike specs, using the abbreviation NM. Lighter bikes require less torque, so 40 to 50 Newton meters should be plenty, while e-mountain and cargo bikes require more torque to overcome heavier loads and troublesome terrain. Mid-drive motors in low gear can climb steeper hills for longer than a similarly powered hub motor. Brakes. There's nothing unique about e-bike brakes, but with the consistently high speeds and extra weight compared to a regular push bike, you'll be seeking ample stopping power. Almost all e-bikes use disc brakes. Mechanical disc brakes are reliable and easily adjusted. Hydraulic brakes are more powerful, but they may require professional adjustments and repair. Some cheaper e-bikes come fit with rim brakes, usually as V-brakes. You may also find drum brakes on a rear wheel, sometimes used in combination with a front wheel rim brake, so be wary of the increased stopping distance and foresight that those brakes will require. Looking at weight, electric bikes are heavier than their pedal-powered counterparts, and that's just a fact. Maybe one day this won't be true, but for now, it's unavoidable. A motor, battery, and cabling all add up to decent heft. So eventually e-bikers run into the unexpected situation where they run out of battery. and it's important to consider how heavy an e-bike is to pedal when unpowered. Some e-bikes are relatively easy to propel on flat ground without juice, and others can be a real slog. There is another situation where the weight of your bike can have heavy implications. If you live in an apartment or walk up, carrying some e-bikes can be almost impossible. Others aren't too much of a problem, but it's important to look at. So here's a rough idea of e-bike weight ranges. For commuter bikes, city bikes, and hybrid bikes, they commonly sit somewhere between 33 pounds and 55 pounds, but can get as heavy as 100 pounds. Moped-style e-bikes can reach 120 pounds. Full suspension e-mountain bikes can be lighter if they're more expensive models and can be as light as 37 pounds, which aids maneuverability on technical trails and jumps. But full suspension fat bikes can weigh up to 100 pounds. When we look at retro-style e-bikes that may have large, sweeping frames that suit a casual riding style and isn't radically affected by extra bulk, and they often weigh between 55 pounds and 65 pounds. E-road bikes are the lightest, with an overall weight as low as 19 pounds. Most sit somewhere between 28 pounds and 31 pounds, and these trim figures are reflected in the high price of these bikes. E-cargo bikes represent the heaviest options, weighing in above 70 pounds. But these rigs may be capable of carrying as much as 440 pounds in extra baggage. Now let's look at cost. And as it is with most other kinds of bicycles, there are options available at all price points. But here's a rough idea of what to expect for your dollar. From $500 to $700, you can expect e-bikes with a hub-driven motor in a configuration that may be similar to an e-bike conversion. You can source bikes at this price from big box retailers, and componentry and gearing will be similar to the level of a low-cost big box bike. Some folding e-bikes come in at this price range, but most bikes in this range are urban commuters or mountain bike style. Some of these will have mechanical disc brakes, and others are set up with rim brakes, which would be V-brakes or even drum brakes. Heavier aluminum and steel frames can be expected, and on low-cost bikes, front suspension is not unheard of, but at this price, it's going to offer limited benefits and durability. It's possible that cheap suspension will only add complexity and weight without any real benefits. 36-volt systems are affordable in this price range, and the price savings you receive from online retailers are due to the fact that many of these manufacturers don't have to pay for a middleman or storefront. So your e-bike will be partially assembled or packaged for transport. So keep that in mind, that any warranty that's offered may be contingent on having your e-bike professionally assembled by a local bike mechanic after you receive it. $700 to $1,400. Motors at this price range are mostly hub-driven, and frames are usually mid-range aluminum. Componentry may be similar to that found on a $250 to $500 pedal-powered bike. And most bikes in this range are commuters and city bikes. $1,400 to $2,500. In this area, quality shoots up a notch. Known brand name mid-drive systems enter the fray, including Bosch and Shimano. Frames may be of a lighter, higher quality aluminum construction. And some handy extras include racks, mudguards, and lights that are integrated into the bike's electrical system. Many of these bikes are still urban, city, or commuter types, but some offer lower end and flat bar road bikes and also become available. Most bikes in this price range are commuter and city bikes. For between $2,500 to $3,500, your dollar gets you a more powerful mid-drive motor and a higher capacity battery. Hydraulic brakes should be a standard, with integrated lights and accessories that can be expected, while name brand components are definitely a given. At least the frames should be high quality aluminum. For $3,500 to $10,000 and beyond, we have some of the most expensive full suspension electric mountain bikes, high-end commuter bikes, performance e-gravel bikes, and drop bar e-road bikes, and reliable cargo machines. Accessories. It pays to consider the inclusion of extras and integrated accessories as part of the cost of your new e-bike. Some e-bikes come fit with front and rear lights, and the best systems are connected to your e-bike's battery and can be operated from a switch on the handlebar. Other e-bikes are equipped with fenders and racks, e-bike classes, and laws. In the United States, electric bike laws vary massively from state to state. It's best to check your local laws before purchasing an electric bike. This is especially true when you're ordering a bike online, as it may be tuned to match the laws of another state or country. E-bikes are not illegal, and you needn't fear that you're flouting the law by buying and owning one. In many areas, electric bikes are classed into 3 categories. All classes are limited to a motor size of 750 watts. Class 1 pedal assist bikes. On these bikes, the electric drive of the bike must be activated through pedaling. Sensors measure pedal movement, pedal torque, and/or the bicycle's speed. In most parts of the United States, these bikes are limited to a top speed of 20 miles per hour. Because of their limited power, they are permitted to be used in the same areas as regular push bikes. Class 2 throttle activated. These bikes are able to be activated by a throttle without any pedal assistance. Many of these bikes also have a pedal assistance function, and like Class 1 bikes, they're generally limited to a top speed of 20 miles per hour and are permitted to be ridden in the same areas as regular push bikes. Class 2 bikes are less common outside of the US and China, where they're more highly regulated. Class 3, high-speed pedal-assisted bikes. These bikes are pedal-assisted with a top speed limit of 28 miles per hour. This speed must be achieved with pedal assistance. Class 3 e-bikes are permitted on roads and on-road bike lanes, but are not allowed to be used on bike trails and multi-use paths. Even though the higher speed of a Class 3 bike may seem attractive, keep in mind that this speed limit may limit your access to options like paths and trails. In the last decade, cyclists have realized that e-bikes are a great way to ride for longer distances and at higher speeds. Electric bikes allow many cyclists to make that long distance commute to work while leaving their car in the garage. In times past, e-bikes were sometimes seen as exclusive to a less able or less motivated rider base. Some competitive cyclists even look down on them, but that is no longer the case. They even have their own dedicated professional racing events nowadays. And in recent years, e-bikes have revealed themselves as one of the fastest growing transport solutions in built-up modern areas. Whatever your reason for choosing to go electric, shop around, choose wisely, and enjoy the ride. And that's your intro to e-bikes, hopefully bringing you closer to the e-bike of your dreams. What is your dream bike? Let us know in the comments what your favorite brand or category is. And likewise, if you can think of a great e-bike tip that we missed, throw it up for all to see. And if you're hungry for more, be sure to check out BikeRide.com, your #1 spot for in-depth bike reviews, community, and riding events in your area. Check out our best bike lists and quickly find your perfect ride with the BikeRide.com score. That's all for now. As always, I'm Scott with BikeRide.com, and I hope you enjoy the ride.